Again, I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
Get busy living. You get busy dying.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. And here we go.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Cult Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Maloof. With me, as always, my co-host, Dante Trevina. We are back, baby. We are so back. Dante, good to see you.
We are so back. That's exactly what I said when I was walking out of one battle after another. And this podcast is back, baby. It is the off season now for us, and we are coming back with a vengeance to take names and kick ass.
Yes, we have taken a slight hiatus due to just work getting in the way mainly, but now we have a
Life.
lot more time. And we missed some stuff over the past couple months, or we saw it, but we have yet to talk about it. And I think number one on that list of things we have yet to talk about on the mic is One Battle After Another. This is the latest film from master writer-director Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Chase Infinity, a newcomer who I think we both enjoyed a lot. You also have Sean Penn in the mix, Regina Hall, not
Yep.
Regina King.
Tiana
Taylor,
Benicio
del Toro,
Stack.
Paul Thomas Anderson. I mean, he is absolutely one of my favorite filmmakers, and I think he's one of yours too, right?
You're a lot more well versed on PTA than I am. I think the highs of Paul Thomas Anderson are as high as anybody for me. But I'm not in love with his whole filmography. Like, I'm not as big of a fan of Punch Drunk Love, or I like Inherent Vice, but not as much as most people.
Mhm.
Maybe don't appreciate Phantom Thread as much as I should, but I acknowledge that he is one hell of a filmmaker. But I know he's one of your boys, right?
He is. I mean, he's one of the greats. And I've been really happy to see him kind of get more mainstream recognition with this movie. I think it's been a long time since we've been talking about PTA and his films like so publicly. Like, the discourse has really been very public around him, his films, how great he is. You haven't really seen that in a long time, even with Licorice Pizza coming out. What was that, in 2021?
Yeah.
It felt like a pretty minor release. It didn't get a lot of marketing, didn't get a huge big groundswell of support. Everyone saying you need to see this, it's amazing. Maybe because obviously it's not starring Leonardo DiCaprio. That's probably the main reason, like,
Right.
why that movie wasn't promoted as much as this movie is. But it has been nice even just to hear him being discussed just more openly, kind of in public, in the media. I think his name has been said a lot more by people who didn't know who he was before than maybe ever before. I think like a good example is even on something like the New Heights podcast with the Kelseys, right? They had
Right.
DiCaprio and Del Toro on that podcast, which is insane by
Insane.
itself. And then to hear them
Insane.
talking about Paul Thomas Anderson, what a great filmmaker. I'm like, there's no way. Like, no way you knew
No.
who that was. Before any of this happened.
I thought Travis was like a Greta Gerwig fan, right?
Well,
That's what the
don't
word on the street is
that's
now.
another discussion entirely. Bottom line though, if you love movies, then you know who Paul Thomas Anderson is. Even to some extent, you might not be familiar with his entire filmography, but you've heard of, or you've seen it, or at least heard of There Will Be Blood and Boogie Nights and The Master and some of his, more like prominent films. I think Boogie Nights
Right.
and There Will Be Blood being like probably his two most popular, his two most prominent movies.
He is the default answer for like film school students. Who's your favorite director? He is the default answer.
Yeah.
He is the number one across America. If you surveyed them, he's the guy for them.
Yeah, writer slash director, right? He's in the same
Yeah.
class. He's in the same generation of is like Quentin Tarantino, guys who came up in the 90s with independent films, writer directors, and who made a huge name for themselves. His movies are obviously entirely different than Quentin Tarantino's. I think that's kind of where the comparison begins and ends.
Yeah.
But man, this new movie, One Battle After Another, it's amazing. It is. It is awesome.
It is. It's kind of daunting for me, like where to even start, because I was just blown away by the whole thing. I think from the start, the movie just kind of pulls you in with this weird eclectic nature. You know, you get really strong performances at the start. Tiana Taylor is abrasive and and weird and different. It's very sexually charged with the what's going on between her and Sean Penn's character, Stephen J. Lockjaw, one of the best names ever. And then all of a sudden you just find yourself falling into the middle of this movie and the plot and just the weird pursuit and chase nature of it. And it's like it's weirdly accessible, but 100% authentic to what PTA and who he is as a filmmaker.
Yeah, it's more action than I think we've ever gotten in a PTA movie before.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with his entire filmography. This just he feels so kind of different for him. I mean, it was a funny quote going around with DiCaprio was interviewing PTA for like a GQ article or something, Rolling Stone, whatever it may be. And he asked him, you're considered more of an art house director, aren't you? And PTA said, well, there's no need to be insulting.
Right.
He
Right.
is considered an art house director, kind of for lack of a better term. And his movies kind of fit that narrative for the most part.
Absolutely.
A lot
Yeah.
of them can be considered, I don't know, they could be called slow, contemplative, maybe kind of cerebral. Not really
Right.
cerebral, I would say, but just they take their time and they're not specifically there for the most part to like reach out and grab you and really
Right.
like entertain you in like the most like logical sense of the word. I think the outlier for
He
that,
focuses more on theme and character than he does on plot, maybe.
yes,
That's
definitely.
part yeah.
Definitely. I think maybe the exception to that could be Boogie Nights because Boogie Nights is such like a fast-paced, kind of high intensity, not an action movie, but there's just constant things happening and needle drops and crazy characters. And
Right.
Boogie Nights is definitely a very flamboyant film. A lot of his other movies are slow, are definitely just they're not there to like make a bunch of money. And he's not a guy that makes a lot of money at the box office, but he is considered one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. One Battle After Another, it has a lot of action in it. It is his most action-heavy movie. It's propulsive. You're constantly, like, moving forward with the story. There's constantly something there to entertain you on the screen every 5 to 10
Right.
minutes. And it's a totally kind of different movie for him, and I was really impressed by it.
I think as much as there's action too, there's a lot of humor. I know he's always had that off-kilter humor, but I think this one might produce the most laughs per minute, right? A
Yes.
few small beers, just great hysterical moments, great moments of levity in the tension. Benicio's performance in general, just every time he's on screen, that guy is fucking fantastic and plays comic relief to an insane degree in this movie. But the way the rug falls when he closes the trap door going down, just
Mhm.
little stuff like that just gets a good chuckle out of you. The movie stays tension filled regardless of that. And that's a crazy tightrope to be walking for about 2 hours and about 40 minutes this movie is. So insane that he kept that going for the whole runtime.
Yeah, I think it really starts and ends with Leonardo DiCaprio's performance. It entirely rests on his shoulders. There's a great cast of characters in this movie, just like every PTA film. The supporting cast is robust, and they do a great job supporting DiCaprio. But he's really carrying this movie for like 95% of it. Obviously, he's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. He can do that. Like,
Yeah.
he's proven it time and time again. We know what to expect with him. But man, he's fucking amazing in this movie. He's hilarious. He is so captivating. You really care about him. He is just totally enthralling in every sense of the word, and I
He's
can't get enough.
depressing. He's got heart to him. He's disconnected. He's obviously like somewhat of a has-been in his world in the French 75. He wears so many different hats in this movie, and he's a father, like despite all that, and despite being a bit of an alcoholic, self-admitted, he's just fantastic. He is, every time you're watching a Leo performance, there's just that part of you where it's like, yeah, it's Leo. He does feel more and more like his character as this movie goes on. You get a grasp of who he's playing, and it just he's the greatest, man. He's one of the greatest.
I think we should maybe go over the plot just briefly here. Obviously, you've probably seen this movie already. If you haven't seen this movie, you need to watch it. No matter who you are, what you're doing, everyone should
Yeah.
watch this year. Very briefly, the plot follows DiCaprio, who is an ex-member of this revolutionary group, the French 75, whose daughter has now kind of become endangered because of his past actions and the past actions of his former wife, mother of his child, who has kind of gone off and no longer is in the picture. She was put in witness protection after being captured. by the government and has since like been gone out of the picture for many, many years. Um, his daughter is kind of taken not by adversaries, but by members of the French 75 in order to hide her from the adversaries, mainly being Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw, played, I think, marvelously by Sean Penn. We'll get to that in just a second.
I
Um,
love.
and it's kind of just a chase movie of DiCaprio trying to find his daughter, um, and trying to find her before Stephen J. Lockjaw finds her. That's essentially the plot of this movie. There's a lot more going on besides just that,
Yeah.
but it's a chase movie. It's a movie that we're constantly running 100 miles an hour. Things are constantly happening, new characters being brought in, moving out. And it's just very propulsive. It's a long movie. It's almost
Right.
3 hours long, but it doesn't feel long at all. I mean, it's just we're at a breakneck pace the entire time. And I think that really goes a long way to keeping general audiences entertained in a story like this.
I think it's really important and really interesting to me how well it keeps your attention and how digestible everything is, despite the fast-paced nature of the movie, despite how much it throws at you as an audience. Like it just trusts you to catch on to what's going on. Like you're either on this train or you're not. And the movie will put you right on that train and give you all the information you need to know. And that's a testament to, I think, like side characters too. People like Tony Goldwyn popping in for 5 minutes,
Hmm.
just stealing the show and his little scenes with the Christmas adventurers. The interrogator, who I don't have an actor name for him, but he's an actual interrogator. He was an army interrogator, I guess. And it's just like little things like that keep you fed throughout the movie. Obviously, it hinges on Leo's and Chase Infinity and Benicio and Sean Penn and Tiana Taylor. They do an amazing job, but it's really everybody making this movie what it is, in little performances, in the distinction of characters, in the Pussycat, in Alana Haim's performance, these weird character names and eclectic people that you come across in this bunch of French 75 that makes it what it is.
Yeah, PTA, he obviously, like most established directors, writer directors of his caliber, has kind of his roster of people he likes to work with, right? People that
Yep.
you see time and time again in his movies. You have some returning actors in this movie, but a lot of it is like below the line, kind of side characters, people that we might have seen in a little role here or there in a PTA movie. But for the most part, the main build cast, besides Benicio del Toro, is completely new to the PTA world,
Right.
including DiCaprio. And I think you can really tell that everyone there is really excited and thrilled to be working on a PTA film.
Right.
Obviously, Chase Infinity is what, 24 years old. This is her first movie. How
Yeah,
could you
she's a
not just
star.
be
She's a
absolutely thrilled?
star.
She's
Yeah.
amazing in this movie. I think we have to talk about her. I mean, she is basically the second lead, right? Besides
Yep.
DiCaprio and maybe you could argue Sean Penn, but the story really revolves around DiCaprio and Infinity. And Chase Infinity does
Right.
an incredible job in this movie. I mean, the range of emotion she has to express, the action scene she has to perform. She's awesome. You would never be able to tell that this is her first movie. She's so confident, and she's amazing. She's a total find here.
Right. She's going scene for scene with DiCaprio and Sean Penn in these Titan performances. How many Bob Ferguson Halloween costumes you think we're gonna see this year? How many
Many.
people are gonna imitate Stephen J. Lockjaw's walk, or probably when he's giving his acceptance speech at the Oscars this next year, like these are great performances by great actors and legends in the industry. And she just fits like a glove. Like she's been there before, like it's a Tuesday morning filming the film for her. Like nothing going on. Just hanging out with Leo, hanging out with Sean Penn, making it happen.
Yeah, she was amazing. Sean Penn, I think we have to talk about him too, just how insane he is in this movie and unhinged. And it's been a
Yeah.
while since we've seen Sean Penn kind of dive into a role like this. And that's kind of what he's known for, what his reputation is as an actor, is someone who is going to completely disappear into a character. We haven't seen him do that in a while. He also
No,
hasn't
he's
been doing a lot of like acting in a while. He's been doing a lot of
no
documentaries, interviewing El Chapo, doing a lot of side quests. He was in
living life.
he had a small role in Licorice Pizza, but I mean, it was not really like a role worthy of a Sean Penn kind of
Right.
performance. He was just kind of there, but he is full Sean Penn in this movie. He's completely unrecognizable. He is menacing. He's hilarious. He's insane. He's all of the above. He's stupid. I mean, but he's also kind of smart in a way.
Right.
I mean, what a performance, what a character. This is like a classic PTA character for me. Like this will go down in the pantheon of movie characters
Yeah.
and of PTA characters for sure.
I just think like down to the walk, that was the first thing that straight the haircut and him licking his comb and doing just the goofy mannerisms of him, but then you're also terrified of the dude. Like in one of the first scenes of the movie when he walks into the bathroom behind Bob Ferguson or behind Tiana Taylor's character, Miss I forget her first name, but the Bob's wife, right? And he's walking in the bathroom, you don't know what the hell's gonna happen. And then it's him just telling her that he's in love with her basically and using her and it's what the hell, like he keeps that edge to him while he's on screen while still being just so laughable. Like you're laughing at him when he's on screen, but he's going to do something that might screw over your characters in the movie. And so it keeps that tension throughout. It's a masterful performance. Sean Penn, yeah, like you said, like kind of just reminding us who the fuck he is in this movie. Like, oh yeah, I can do this too. Um, I want him in all the movies. I want Stephen J. Lockjaw in all my movies now. Like Koba from Planet of the Apes should be in a lot of movies. Stephen J. Lockjaw should be a villain in a lot of movies too.
Well, he's not going to be in any more movies because he does meet his end
No.
at the very end of this movie, in a really awesome way. I just cannot say enough about Sean Penn. He's going to be nominated for this performance, and he probably should win for supporting actor. Off the top of my head, I can't think of who's going to be challenging him. I'm sure it will be a decent group, but
Yeah.
I would put my money at this point on Sean Penn.
It depends on who's categorized. Supporting actor could mean 10 minutes. It could mean 60 minutes of screen time. You never know these days. But I don't know. I was between him and Benicio. I think Benicio's performance is great too, man.
He is really
just
funny.
so lovable too.
Yeah.
That's what makes it for me. It's like I love Sean Penn's performance, but I can't love Lockjaw. But I love Benicio and Sensei and his character. This is just spawned some iconic moments already.
Yeah, I'm just excited that we are getting a movie like this. We've been anticipating this movie for a while simply because we knew it was Paul Thomas Anderson directing Leonardo DiCaprio. We didn't really know the plot. We knew it was loosely based on Thomas Pynchon's Vineland, but that's a book that I deliberately ignored. I did not want to read anything about that book because I just wanted to go into this movie. From what I understand, the movie very, very loosely follows some of the plot structure of Vineland, but it's a lot of stuff added by PTA, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just exciting to get movies like this. I mean, we don't get a lot of
Right.
movies like this. I think that's what a lot of the conversation around this has been, is they don't make them like this anymore. We don't get a lot of movies like this. Like, please, like, you need to see this. If you care about movies, if you want to go to the
Right.
movies and be entertained. This is easily, I would say, PTA's most accessible movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is the movie that is probably going to be the most seen. It's already far and away made the most money at the box office out of any of his movies. And I think that's great for cinema, and that's great for movies when we get a director like this, who obviously we understand to be one of the greats, but your neighbor or your coworker or someone who
Right.
watches 10 movies a year, doesn't know who he is. And now they might. And now they might, go
Right.
back and maybe look at some of his other movies that he's made. But just that this on its own, if this is the only PTA movie you should see or you want to see, start with this one. I mean, this movie is awesome.
Well, and to me, like we're gonna nerd out about how it looks, the Vista Vision. My God, this movie looks crisp. It looks beautiful. The $130 million budget. We're gonna nerd out about that kind of stuff, the filmmaking techniques, PTA's catalog. It really helps to have Leo on board and pitch that to your coworker or to
Absolutely.
somebody that you see, that's talking about movies like, oh, you see Leo's new movie? And that's all you have to do to get them on this train, right? And I think anybody who sits down for this movie is gonna find something about it that makes them feel, at least if they like it, if they don't, like they're gonna feel this movie because it gives you no other choice but to absorb everything that's going on. It does not have you look away for one bit.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to see this movie at the 70 millimeter IMAX theater that I live right around the corner from, which continues to just be a blessing.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I mean, to see this movie fully taking up that massive screen for the entire length of it. I mean, it's something I've never seen before. Oppenheimer, Sinners, these are movies that utilize that 70 millimeter IMAX format, but don't use it the entire time. They use it for select sequences. So to see a movie like this in that format, I mean these characters in these scenes like towering over you, it just added to the experience. I mean, it doesn't make or break the movie. You could watch this movie on a plane and still like think, wow, that was a good movie.
Right.
Obviously, we are big proponents of the theatrical experience in general. See this movie in a theater if at all possible. Um, but yeah, the formats, I mean, it was crazy to see it in that 70 millimeter IMAX format. I was not lucky enough to see it in any VistaVision formats because that's even more rare than 70 millimeter
Right.
IMAX. It's 35 millimeter film run vertically through a projector instead of horizontally. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, but that's like the basics of what VistaVision is, as I understand it. Um, I wish I could have seen it in that format, but we're getting into the weeds a little bit on
That's all
film
right.
formats
That's
and
all
that
right.
sort of thing. Bottom line though, this movie
But
fucking rips.
this is a movie that opens up those discussions,
It
right? This is a
does.
movie that makes you think about how it was made.
And
The road chase scene, dude. Like, how the fuck has that not been done? How the fuck is this the first time this is happening? Where it's so simple. It's so simple what he's doing with the camera, but it's just so great and it's riveting. And every time you see a car come above that hillside, you're just on the edge of your seat, wondering, is it getting closer? Is this, who is this? Who it
you're constantly
there's
building
really
tension. You're
simple
trying to
techniques.
look and see what's coming over the next hump in the
Right.
road.
Right.
And
You're
yeah,
you're trying to look up to look over. Yeah.
I
In
know
your seat.
it is it's thrilling. I mean, from beginning to end, this movie is truly thrilling. If I could put it into one word, it's also I would say it's PTA's funniest movie. It's not
Yep.
like there are some really funny moments. It's not a comedy. None of his movies are real
No.
comedies. I think that was the word right out of the gate on this movie is that's really, really funny. It has a lot of laugh moments, but I wouldn't call it a wall-to-wall comedy. I mean, there are some
Right.
very tense, serious moments in this film too. And there's a lot of satire. Like the whole Christmas Adventurers sequence is funny
So
in a
fu
really fucked up,
so
weird
crazy.
way.
Right.
Like a lot that is PTA's sense of humor a lot of the time is making you laugh uncomfortably at things that you
Right.
probably shouldn't be laughing at, but that's the trick is he gets you to laugh at it.
And also totally mirrors our society today too. And then you start to think about it. It feels, it's absurdist humor. Feels kind of like some of the laughs that you have. Atlanta is billed as a comedy, the TV show. But the same kind of humor to it. Where you're like, oh shit, I'm laughing at something that I maybe shouldn't be, but it's framed so brilliantly
Mhm.
that I'm cracking up about it. Um, I think my favorite section of the movie uh, was Leo trying to figure out the passcode over the phone, and going into
Oh,
the
of course.
the rooftop chase at night and the Ninja Turtle skaters that are under Benicio's wing. These guys that are like skateboard to skateboard on the roof and jumping across rooftops, and you think Bob's gonna get away. He just jumps right into the middle of the riot. Like this, just so absurd, crazy, something only this movie feels like it can deliver, and it does. That code sequence though, is just fucking hilarious. And
Every time
Leo's
DiCaprio's talking
hysterical.
into a phone is like the funniest shit you've seen all year. Like,
Right,
if you don't, if you don't help me, I swear to God, I'm gonna find you and stick a loaded piece of dynamite straight up your asshole.
right.
I mean, just his insane crash outs on the phone, trying to get the passcode, trying to answer the question, "What time is it?" Like, for the life of me, I mean, he has given me like some catchphrases, some things I'm adding to my vocabulary. A few
Yeah.
small beers. I am a
A
drug and
few
alcohol lover. It's like
lover. Yeah,
insane.
that was
It's so
great.
funny. But he's not our hero, right? And that's what's
No.
really fun and cool about this movie is you're rooting for Bob DiCaprio's character to constantly do something heroic. You think here's
Right,
the moment where he's finally going to pull his shit together and he's going to do something heroic. He's going to save his daughter. He's going to find where she is. He's going to do something positive. And he never really does. He just
right,
constantly is fucking up the entire movie and getting bailed out. Like
right. He's kind of a coward in some sense too.
he is. Like in that scene you mentioned when he kind of leaves the dojo from from Benicio del Toro from Sensei. He's running along the rooftops with these skaters. They're trying to get him to the next point, and then he falls off of the roof and lands on the ground and is immediately arrested in the middle of this riot. And you're like, "Oh shit,
Right,
he
right,
didn't do it. He got arrested. Oh,
right.
he's fucked." And then he has to
And
get
it was
bailed out
such a
again.
small jump too. It was a jump of maybe like 5 feet.
Yeah, something he
You know,
easily
'cause
could
it
have
was
made.
something, yeah. And that's why it didn't feel like they were giving him like the tension of the movie makes it so it's all happening fast, but nothing feels super insurmountable to him. It's just that he's not up to the challenge
Right, he is
whatsoever.
given fairly basic tasks for most of the movie, and he's unable to complete any of them. He can't
Right.
remember any of the passcodes, he remembers some of the passcodes for, like, the revolutionary hotline to find out where his daughter is. He can't remember all of them, though. He can't remember the main thing to finally get the location. He he can't really do much. He can't find where his daughter is. He needs help from the sensei. He needs to charge his phone. He needs to do all these
Yeah.
things, and he doesn't really succeed in hardly any of them. He does eventually find his daughter at the very, very
Yeah.
end of the movie.
And he knows a bit of Spanish too.
He
That
knows a
was the
little bit
one
of
that's when he
Spanish.
finally started living up to it. The whistle that DiCaprio does that it was so great. It was so I don't know how he found that in his bag back there, but
Right.
yeah, he finally kind of uh lives up to it when he's pursuing his daughter who's being pursued by another hitman that took out Lockjaw. But he gets there late, right? Like
He
he's not
doesn't save her, right? She ends up saving
she saves
herself.
herself.
She ends up saving herself with some help from the coyote human smuggler guy, the hitman guy that
Right.
she is eventually pawned off to at a certain point to pawn her off to another group of hitmen because he doesn't want to do the job himself.
Right.
Ends up growing a conscience, coming back, killing those hitmen, saving her, getting killed in the process. She steals his car, is being pursued by the Christmas Adventurers hitman who essentially wants to kill her because she's a loose end in this whole grand scheme.
She's a smudge on their name.
It's a smudge
Yep.
on their name. It's this kind of white supremacist cult like group that Lockjaw is trying to join, but he can't join because he has fathered this girl, this mixed race child with DiCaprio's former, I guess, love interest wife, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
He is Chase Infinity's dad,
Right.
DiCaprio is, but Sean Penn's character is her father. And he's trying to essentially kill her so he can wipe that smudge off of his record and join this club, join this white supremacist group. So that's when you get to this great chase scene at the end of the movie down this long, winding highway that just looks absolutely incredible. But at the end of the day, DiCaprio does not save anybody. He shows up at the very end after Willa has successfully saved herself from this
Right.
hitman. And he just shows up at the very end to collect her basically and say, "No, I'm here. It's your dad. I'm here to take you home." But he spends the whole movie trying to save her, and he ends up just finding her at the end after she's already saved herself.
Right.
Um,
And their relationship, especially at the end of the movie, like left me feeling so warm. You know, her like going out to whatever rally she's gonna go to and him just, okay, be back by whatever, like it's just such a like real warm. I felt just like so nice inside at the end of this movie, which is not what I was expecting to feel at the end, especially after it rips your heart out, figuring out that Lockjaw is her biological father,
mhm.
in a church too.
What a
you know,
great
just
sequence,
the
by the way. I didn't know you could make a
fantastic.
sequence of like a paternity test so
Right.
thrilling. But
Right.
man, I mean the machine with the spinning and the lines coming together and stuff. I mean,
Right.
captivating. This entire movie is captivating.
Well, that's the road chase in the middle of the desert with nothing around them. How are you gonna make that captivating? Oh, you just put the camera on the front of the car and film the hills going up and down. Like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, and it's fucking great. And so yeah, just adding those moments of tension to uh, basic answers that we want out of the story is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Um,
essentially what this movie comes down to for me is like the gap between generations, right? You have
yeah,
DiCaprio, Bob Ferguson, who is this old ex-revolutionary, and his daughter, who is ultimately paying the price for the stuff that he did when he was her age, and him trying to kind of navigate like how to have a relationship with his now teenage daughter. He doesn't really understand anything about this new world that he's living in. Even when her friends come to pick her up, there's a really funny sequence where he's
The phone.
asking, he's like, "Hey, homie," when he is talking to the
Yeah.
guy coming to pick up his daughter. Um, he's asking, is he a they or a she or a he? And she's having to explain all this shit to him,
Jesus.
and he's like, I'm just trying to be polite. I'm just trying to understand." Like, it's just really funny, and that's kind of what I think the ultimate goal for PTA was to kind of talk about the gap between someone of his age and maybe people like his kids, like of his
Right.
kids' age, and how that generational gap like can define relationships, can kind of make people grow apart, but at the end of the day, we can find common ground. People can come together, and it is a very nice relationship that
Beautiful.
Bob and
Yeah.
Willa have. Absolutely, definitely is the main crux of the movie, I think.
Yeah, I think you phrased it perfectly, man. It's beautiful. Like that's why I said it made me feel warm at the end because like they weirdly do find common ground and love for each other and supporting each other despite like the scene of them unwrapping Christmas presents too. It's just such a nice touch at the end. Like and that just it feels like it belongs or like it should belong in another movie because it is just so like unnecessarily warm, but then given all they've been through together, it just fits so well. So just cool conscious choices by PTA to add those last couple scenes because I feel like the movie ends on a really nice high note with momentum, but without having to cut off the tension. I was worried that maybe the ending they just kind of cut to black or like you figure, it just kind of runs its course and it's over. And it felt like the movie had a very natural ending to it, which I enjoyed. I think he did a really good job with just the last 5 minutes of the movie.
I think you get a couple like fake out endings almost. We think
Yeah.
that Sean Penn's character has been killed by the Christmas Avengers hitman, who he definitely should have been. He was shot in the face with a shotgun, and then his car rolled and had a gnarly crash, rolled several times off the highway into a ditch. DiCaprio even checked on him, and he was hanging upside down, completely
Right.
lifeless in his car.
Pieces of glass in his face.
Somehow we cut to Lockjaw limping, doing his signature kind of weird
That
pigeon
was
pose
awesome.
limp
That
down
was
the
an
road.
all-time villain moment. Him just walking it off. Like
Literally
trying to
just
go.
walking it off. He's
That was
back.
great.
And then we eventually
Anton Chigurh.
we cut to him again being accepted into the Christmas Adventurers Club and then immediately being dispatched in his corner office, which
I
is
was
secretly
raped
a
in the
gas
reverse.
chamber.
What did he say?
I was raped in reverse, yeah. And
That
then
was such a crazy excuse with a straight face.
and I love the delivery of she was a semen demon. I think all time
Right.
delivery, all time
Right.
PTA line right there. Just great stuff. Lockjaw trying to explain why he fathered this child. Because secretly he loves black women. He
I
like
love him.
you like black
I
girls,
love
I
'em.
love them.
Yeah.
And
That was Bob's face, Leo's face when he said that. Just like, what the hell? Just realizing who he's messing with. Like, this guy's straight batshit. All
I mean,
right.
even from the first couple minutes of this movie, that first scene where Tiana Taylor, Perfidia Beverly Hills is her character's name. Incredible
Yeah.
character naming by
Yeah.
PTA,
Oh,
as
great.
always.
Yeah.
When they're liberating this immigrant camp on the border, and she breaks into Lockjaw's office and like arouses him for seemingly like no
Right.
reason, just to fuck with him, and he seems to like it. And then after that, he just can't
He's
like
full on stalking her with
he
the
can't get
binoculars.
enough. It's just, I mean, from the first 10 minutes of this movie, you're instantly locked in. Like, what the
Well-
hell is going on? You're just instantly you can feel that you are in the hands of a different kind of filmmaker
Right.
here. This is not your standard 2-hour action movie. This is something a lot different.
Well, and I was shocked at how sexually charged those first like 30 minutes are with Sean Penn and Tiana Taylor. And they have like a really weird, good chemistry too.
Yeah.
When and that's what I think kind of is like the cherry topper to those scenes that they like somehow make their fucked up love affair work. And yeah, just a weird way to start it. And it finds its footing through that. And I I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was so just like not what I was expecting out of the movie. I didn't know much of the plot. I just knew that Leo was a revolutionary and we're gonna see some guys hunting him down. And so to see that as the start of the movie, it just throws you right into it and it sets up the tone for the rest of the movie. So I think in rewatching or in even thinking about it now, I like the beginning a lot more. Whereas when I was first watching the beginning, I was just more, huh,
Just trying
oh,
to figure
okay, like
things out a little
that's
bit.
going on, yeah. And then somewhere in the middle with the Ninja Turtle skaters and Benicio, I think I found my footing pretty well.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just constantly entertaining, I think, and but when you go into a movie like this, I think it's important to go in not really knowing what to expect.
Right.
I think that is key. If you know too much, if you think you know what you're getting into, I think this movie might not have the same impact. It's still obviously a great film, but I think it might just not hit you quite as hard if you already know exactly what to expect from this movie. So I don't want to like give everything away, talk about every little detail in this movie, but um, just overall incredibly enjoyable. Paul Thomas Anderson. I hope more people hear about him as a, like a mainstream filmmaker and go see the rest of his movies because I mean we can go over them. That might be a whole nother episode, but it's like
Yeah, I
the PTA catalog
think we should.
is insane. It is right up there with someone like a Tarantino or a James Cameron
Nolan,
or Christopher
Villeneuve.
Nolan. I mean these guys are like not all in the same like class as far as like just like age range and that sort of
Right.
thing in the same generation, but he's one of our greats and I'm just so glad that he gets to keep like making these kinds of movies.
Yeah, I hope it really it shows the studio like to put $130 million in this guy's hands. And I think the award season is going to be kind to this movie. And I think the box office has done well. Maybe not as much as the studio wanted out of it, but still the box office I think has done well enough, and the discourse or positive discourse around the movie has made it so I think hopefully his next movie will get the same sort of price tag on it and the same creative control on it because it's important. It's unique.
It's easily his most widely seen movie, or easily his
Yeah.
most popular movie. I would say also probably his most widely seen film, which is crazy for a guy that this is his 10th movie, and he's been known in the industry
Yeah.
and in film circles as someone who is
And
a
so
true
well
master.
respected.
So
Yeah.
well respected. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone who knows anything about movies knows who Paul Thomas Anderson is. But I think now we might have a different crowd of people who are just now discovering who he is. I mean, I've talked to friends who like movies, who know a lot about movies or claim to know a lot about movies, and
Right.
they'd never heard of Paul Thomas Anderson before when I mentioned One Battle After Another. They
Right.
go, "Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson, he's got a new movie, One Battle After Another." Who's that? Oh, There Will
Right.
Be Blood, Boogie Nights, Magnolia. No, that doesn't ring a
No,
bell. I
never
mean,
heard of him.
seriously. So hopefully this will finally bring him into the mainstream. I mean, I think
I hope so.
he's been in the mainstream for people like us, people who know a
Yeah.
thing or two about movies. Um, but I hope this will bring him into a whole another crowd of people, and maybe his next movie will be um a lot more anticipated maybe than this one was, just for general audiences.
Well, I had someone who thought he directed Fantastic Mr. Fox. I thought he was Wes Anderson.
Mm,
And so that was
mm,
another I don't know if anybody else has ran into that problem, but that was another one too. I was like, "No, two different people."
yeah.
It's and like trying to be polite about it. I'm like, "God, how dare you?" On my end, but um, yeah, just he deserves it. Of any director deserves this boost, and it's been pretty cool to see how widely embraced this movie's been.
Real quick, do you think this is his best movie, or is this your the movie of his that you prefer, that you like the most?
Fuck, I don't know, dude. Um, I think There Will Be Blood might is probably his best. I think Phantom Thread might be his best actually too. I think I prefer Magnolia. As long and as as
What a
weird as that
strange
movie
movie
is,
that
like
is.
that is probably to me the one that swings the hardest. Um, it's so cool when movies launch us into this, not only like, Sinners earlier this year and Weapons and some of these movies, which we'll be talking about soon, launch us into like end of the year talks. Oh, this might be one of the best movies of this year.
Mhm.
This is a movie that launches us into like legacy and best of the decade and classic talks. And that's always pretty cool too, to just look back at his catalog and look back at movies in the last 25 years in this century and think like, who's doing it like this guy and like this movie? Where do you think it stands for you?
This is very high up there. I don't think it's number one. I still think for me, There Will Be Blood is number one.
Yeah.
And I would say, I don't know. This might be number two or number three. It's right up there. I think right now I still have it as number three. I have it behind Boogie Nights and behind There Will Be Blood.
It gets to a level with some of these directors where you just have no wrong choice. Like you could choose any of the 10 PTA films and probably make a pretty decent case for why it's your favorite or why it's the best. Like ranking Nolan's catalog or Villeneuve's catalog, and you're just like, yeah, I'm choosing between 4 or 5 classics, like bona fide at the top. And that's what he's afforded himself at this point. I hope many more come.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's really all the thoughts I have, like right now on this movie. I mean, I have so much more to say, but
Yeah.
I think we just need to let
We've
this.
both seen it a bit ago too.
It has been a
Yeah.
little while since we've seen this movie. It was close to a
Been a
month
whole
ago
month
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was close to a month ago. So I would really like to give it a rewatch.
Yes.
And just to soak it all in again. Hopefully I can see it in theater again before it leaves. But this is definitely something that I will be buying on 4K immediately as soon as it's released. As Jeremy Johns would say, absolutely worth
Right.
buying on Blu-ray and 4K. But this is an awesome tacular if you're going to use the Jeremy Johns method of rating there.
I think it's really cool, and a movie that's this good has me excited for a rewatch too. Because I think a lot of PTA's films, while I do like them, I don't have that itch to rewatch them. This one I really do. Like I'm really excited for when this one comes out, probably around Christmas time. I'll put on I'm not going to be a Christmas adventure, but watch the Christmas Adventures around Christmas time and just settle up and enjoy it again.
Yeah, this is a movie that we're going to keep talking about, I think, as the rest of this year goes on, and especially into next year once we get into full-blown Oscar season, because this will be getting multiple nominations, I think. Definitely for...
You never know, though.
This will get some nominations, at least for all the... I mean, I think you're going to get director, you're going to get screenplay, you're going to get cinematography, and then you're going to get a couple...
I think
score, I think, as well. Yeah, that's a good call. And you're probably also going to get a couple acting noms out of this. DiCaprio, I think, is a lock. I also think Sean Penn is a lock, and I would like to see Chase Infinity. I heard that she's campaigning for Best Actress, which all props to her. I really liked her in this movie. I don't know if she quite has the juice to win Best Actress coming up this movie. It's all going to depend on who she's going against. We have to do a whole nother Oscars episode so we can really go through and come up with a list of who's going to be competing for these awards. So we're going to have to do that pretty soon. But
give out some Cultist Awards this year.
Yes.
Do that.
Yeah, sure. The Cinema Cult Awards.
Very prestigious.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, loved her in this movie. Would definitely like to see her on the Oscar circuit this year, doing a lot more interviews, making a name for herself, which she definitely already has. So really excited to see what she does next. I think she's the most exciting thing out of this movie, just because she's a brand new face who we've never seen before, plucked from obscurity, essentially. I think she'd been in a couple she'd been like an Apple TV show. She had some acting credits before this, but going from an Apple TV Plus show
big leagues now
to a Paul Thomas Anderson film, I mean, it's like night and day. So
yeah, it's like Will Klein last night in the World Series. You were in AAA in Seattle earlier this year, and now you're throwing 4 innings in a World Series game for the Dodgers. So different levels.
Absolutely. She is the Will Klein to DiCaprio's Rory Sasaki. If you do
Yoshinobu Yamamoto
or I mean, DiCaprio really is the
Otani
is the Otani in this scenario. if not PTA, I guess he could also be the Otani. But yeah, just it's an all-star cast. Everyone doing good. I mean, you could definitely compare this to the Dodgers in a lot of ways, I guess. Just everyone firing on all cylinders, just killing it, just being great. And yeah, loved it. Don't love the Dodgers, but loved this movie.
We'll talk about it more this year, I'm sure.
We will absolutely be talking about it more. I think that's a good place to leave it right now. So please go see One Battle After Another. If you haven't yet, if you're going to see one movie this year, make it One Battle After Another, or maybe Sinners. But we've already talked about Sinners. Go listen to our Sinners episode if you haven't already.
Yes.
Thanks for listening as always, and we will catch you in the next one.